So the most dangerous tournament SK8 has seen to date has begun, and if it wasn't for Adam being a part of it, you could argue it's a dangerous tournament, but nothing to be overly scared of. But when you pretty much kick the episode off, seeing who he used to be in terms of how he would pick out his so-called loves, because his upbringing was he had to say thank you at the face of abuse from his aunts, and that was love to him. So he puts his love, which is a partner in skating who can match his skills, and if they end up getting hurt, if not killed, to him that's a disappointment, not something that he should feel bad about. It really does put into perspective a lot of his current actions, and while his past doesn't justify him being a scumbag, you do understand how he became that scumbag based on his upbringing. And the fact that, we have Snake, his kind of butler, servant, assistant, kind of feels like he fits a lot of different roles for Adam, is now revealed to be the one who taught Adam how to skate. And if he beats him, he's going to force Adam to give up on his dreams. And while you don't think he's going to end up being the one to defeat Adam, most likely it will be Langa. It will be interesting to see where the tournament will go, especially considering that we end on a pretty big cliffhanger and it doesn't look too good for Langa. One of the biggest things that gets brought up, which is the idea of support, where you have Reki look at the TV and someone is talking about how, even if he couldn't be the professional athlete, he has the ability to assist them. And I'm sure for some people they're going to get upset saying, oh, I want Reki to be the one to be the best skater in this anime. But ever since the beginning, Reki's skill set has been he's a good skateboarder, but his skills lie in the ability to create, modify, and enhance boards. And in this episode, we get this fight scene very briefly where Langa's board gets punched, and I'm pretty sure that means his board's going to break. And if that happens, I feel like that's going to be the reunion scene where Langa needs his friend. And obviously people are going to discuss, is there more to it than just friendship? It's hard to tell in anime because we get the whole dinner scene with his mom, and you get the kind of blushing and then the her, wait, what are you talking about? I'm talking about a guy here. It could very well just be anime comedy not committing to something like a gay relationship, but then again, if you look at the director's works, they could go that direction. Either way, I'm fine with either direction. A person's a person, no matter who they like. To me, right now, I'm watching the skateboard show where they have all these different stories interlinking, and whether Reki and Langa become friends or more than that, to me, it doesn't really change the story in the slightest. It's just a matter of where the director wants to take the story overall. To me, though, it's crystal clear that the kind of separation between these two characters isn't going to be as dramatic as I originally thought, but I think that's a good thing, based on how they're going. I never got the intention that Langa's on this suicide watch pretty much, where he's trying to kill himself by doing these progressively more dangerous things. To him, he just hasn't had a thrill since snowboarding ever since his father died. And to him, this is the new thrill, but he wants his friend Reki to be there with him and support him, and he feels bad. He feels like he broke a promise, and it doesn't feel like we're going to have that Reki versus Langa, and if we do, it's going to be something a lot more casual than violent, like I thought we might get. And to me, I'm really excited to see Reki support him, because that feels like where we're going. Reki will probably have to build him a new board, maybe you'll have to build him a better board, something that'll be able to beat someone like Adam. And even if he isn't able to beat him, I feel like Langa's going to move on with his day, so to speak. This was a great episode that I think after coming off of such a depression last week, I do feel like some people are going to say, oh, they're not going the direction I want. Because I've seen a lot of people say they want to see Reki be able to beat Langa, but it doesn't feel like that's the direction we're going. It does feel like both of these characters have made mistakes and they're recognizing that they want to be together and they want to support each other's dreams. And the difference is, Reki has always been someone who enjoyed modifying boards. It's not like he's settling for something else. So for him to be someone who wants to skate alongside Langa, both of them have always had a lot of fun skating, and it doesn't mean Reki can't, enter in tournaments or do different things. He just may not always be the best skateboarder of his group, which is perfectly fine. It's unlike Langa has had years of snowboarding experience and also now has skateboarding experience. All these other characters, it's fine for them to be better than Reki. He's one of the two main characters in this show. Both of them can't be these top-level skateboarders, nor should they. Then you just have two of the same characters. It's much more interesting having a supporting character in the kind of modification role, but also is good at skateboarding, and someone who's basically the pro athlete, so to speak. And I'm really excited to see if they go the direction, because it feels like probably next week isn't going to be the point where Reki modifies his board, but I have a feeling Langa's probably going to win, but he's going to break his board in this race, which then will lead into the kind of okay, are they coming back together? Are they going to make amends? Hopefully they do. Reki modifies his board, probably episode 11 or something like that. Maybe we get the Snake versus Adam. Snake loses. and then it's Langa versus Adam or something like that, right? There's a lot of ways for this to go really, really right or really, really wrong. But at this point, I mean, I wouldn't have said it last week, but seeing how they're going, it does feel like we're going to have a lot more positive of an end between Reki and Langa sooner than I was expecting. But since this is a one-core season, I think that's the proper pace to go. Sometimes you'll have falling out, sometimes you'll have misunderstandings, sometimes both sides will make mistakes and say the wrong thing. But at the end of the day, you can't deny that both Reki and Langa have a really strong connection, so for them to just stay pissed off, or, Langa's not even mad, he's just sad, and then someone like Reki is trying to be so angry but realizes that he wants to be alongside his friend here, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do and where they take this relationship, also considering the fact that all the characters miss Reki. And I mean, that's why it was a great scene in the ramen shop there saying, like, even if you're not participating, you should come watch, because he knows that that's where he wants to be. And like the sister scene and things like that, there were so many great moments to really hammer it in that this isn't supposed to be a story where it's Reki versus Langa. It's Reki and Langa supporting each other. And this isn't a show where Langa's trying to like get these thrills by killing himself. It's him just enjoying skateboarding and wanting a challenge, but wants his friend beside him. I really don't think we're going to see a scene where Langa's going to end up getting killed or anything like that, or he's going to be in the hospital because of some crazy thing. I think as long as Reki supports his board in whatever way he does, similar to how he's built his board up until this point, there's a very strong chance that Langa, even if he doesn't win against Adam, I think in a lot of ways, Langa not winning against Adam, but having fun and feeling proud of that race, and him just like abandoning Adam, and then Adam gets the cops called on him or whatever for all the illegal things that are happening, and Snake doesn't take the fall for him. That would be like the perfect ending ever. Ultimate justice for Adam touching all of these kids, all things considered. This was a great episode. I had a lot of fun, great visual directing. There was a lot of intense moments, and I still like how pretty much every character is still getting some chance to shine. I think the worst you could say about the side cast right now is Mia's been pushed to the sideline the most, but even then, Mia's still getting incorporated into the scene, so it's not as bad as it could have been, considering how hefty the side cast currently is. This anime is incredible. It really did start off on a good note. It was visually impressive, but I mean, seeing how the characters and the stories are linking up and the personal stories that are happening, there's so many ways for this show to go, and honestly, all of them seem really tight for me right now, and I'm really excited for more. I do have the feeling that this will be a show that won't please everyone by the end just based on how the ending will happen. I feel like there's going to be a dedicated part of the fan base who wants Reki versus Langa, and then I think there's going to be other people just fine with them kind of coming together. Maybe there's like the modification of the board angle, or maybe there's something completely different. But either way, I don't think this will be like a polarizing show, but I do have a feeling that there will be a very vocal, probably minority, who will dislike the ending no matter which way it goes, just based on how they've currently built up the idea that it could be very, very hostile by the end, or very, very, peaceful by the end. For me, though, I see all the possibilities really working, so I guess time will tell, but I do have that sneaking suspicion that there could be like 30% of the fan base very angry at the ending, which then again is pretty much any show ending. It's not the worst thing ever unless a majority of the people hate the ending or something like that, but for me, I'm really excited for more. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on Skate, and where do you think the story is going to go with the final stretch of the anime? Do you think someone like Reki is going to support Langa in more of the modification, or do you actually think it's going to be like Reki versus Langa or something like that? Whatever you're feeling, let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you have been new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.